Hey guys, today I'm here with Remy, and she's going to be talking about how to start an e-commerce business with Shopify. Welcome, Remy. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine. How are you too?
I'm doing well, thank you. I'm super excited for you to be here. Do you want to quickly start with what you're working on, and I'll let you dive into your presentation?
Oh, okay. So I am an e-commerce founder. I own a company called Natural Girl Wigs, which is an online store where we sell textured hair for Black women. So we sell hair that matches the hair types for Black women and other protective styles that Black women can generally enjoy. Um, I'm also an e-commerce consultant, so I help like founders like myself to figure out how to like grow the company, what's scalable in terms of like marketing and growth tactics as well.
I love it. And let's dive into the presentation. I'm going to go on mute, and it's your show, so start whenever you're ready.
Thank you. So today I'm going to be talking about how to start an e-commerce business with Shopify. So I didn't want to go into the detail of actually setting up a store because there's so much information about that online in terms of like setting up a store, or if you decide to work with someone who actually helps you to create like a great store. But what I'm going to be talking about today are like the key things to help you have like a successful e-commerce store with Shopify as someone who is just getting into the e-commerce space. Now, for me, I would say why Shopify. So why Shopify? It's these are some of the things I'll be talking about today, which is like why Shopify, the technology stack that you need to make this a success, in your branding, how pricing influences how successful your business is, your marketing, and the mentality to stay profitable. So why Shopify? Shopify has an ecosystem that is sort of like dependable. At least that's the way I see it. And that's what is also like very notable in the industry. So if you're trying to set up a Shopify store or an e-commerce store, it's important that you're setting up your store on a platform where you're going to have enough tools. There's a lot of knowledge, there's a lot of resources out there for you to leverage on, for you to read about. Now, there's certain there are different kinds of tech reasons why you should go with Shopify. But as a business owner, what I can tell you is the most important thing is that there's a lot of information about Shopify. A lot of big businesses, successful businesses use Shopify. So that means that a lot of developers that are making products to improve your store, to improve how you can succeed, are going to be building with Shopify first. They're going to be building with Shopify in mind. So as a business person, you want to bank on that and you want to leverage on that. That's the same thing for marketers. Like I don't know the percentage, but most of the marketers, the agencies that I know, they are very familiar with Shopify. They work with businesses with Shopify. So it just gives you like the best resource and the best ecosystem that you can ask for. And the same thing with plugins. Like some of the plugins you need on your Shopify store, on your e-commerce store, are mostly designed for Shopify. So if I was going into e-commerce today, I would definitely pick Shopify because I do not want a platform where certain things are not easy to plug in together. There isn't enough resources for me to read about how to manage certain situations or challenges. So for me, that's the reason why I would pick Shopify. Or maybe I'm just high on the Shopify Kool-Aid, but that's the reason why I would select Shopify. In terms of like technology stack, right? I'd like to explain that a bit because if you have an e-commerce store, there are certain tools and certain things that would make it very, easy for you to automate certain things, right? You need to be able to automate a lot of things on your Shopify store. So if I was advising you on some of the most important tools that you need, these are the tools I would say. And the first one would be your email software. Now, as an e-commerce founder, right, the marketing channel that you most have control over is your email marketing. Like you have like control over your email marketing. And when people come into your store, the surest way for you to sort of like extract value beyond sales is collecting their emails. So you need to take your email seriously. And for me, we use Klaviyo with my business, and that's what I advise for my customers and my clients as well. So you want to ensure that you're using an email software that is designed around your sources, that is designed to help you automate things better, designed to give you, solutions faster and things like that. So that's super important, and that's why I would recommend Klaviyo. I've also seen you talk about Klaviyo a lot. I know you recommend Klaviyo as well. So I would definitely recommend Klaviyo. And your payment gateway, of course, you need to get paid. So for your technology stack, I would say you can either choose between Stripe or ShopPay. So Shopify has a payment platform now. It didn't used to be like a recommended one, but I'm currently using ShopPay on my website right now, and the services are very good. Plus, there's also Shopify installments. So depending on the kind of product you're selling, you probably want to provide the option for people to pay with installments, and Shopify payment is actually great. And of course, there's Stripe as well. Also, your chat software, no matter how explanatory your e-commerce store is, you would need a chat option because customers might want clarification, or they want to ask questions about delivery time and things like that. So it's important for you to have a chat software. And depending on the behavior of your users and what you decide to go for, I would say between Facebook Messenger and WhatsApp, there are also other high-end chat software, but as a newbie, you don't have to spend so much. You don't have to do too much. Just go for one of these options, and I totally recommend. And you also need like a review software. A review software is important because if people are coming to your website, it's important for them to see that other people are trying your product, other people have used your product, and that convinces them to make a purchase. I use Judge Me, and I recommend Judge Me because it's just fast, it's automated, and there are ways for you to even automate this to appear on your socials so that people can see when a customer just drops a review. And yeah, so these are the some of the technology stack that I would recommend for you. Obviously, as you grow, you start to discover new things and better things, but as a starter, this is enough, and this is very this is good for you. The first thing in terms, if I go into marketing and pricing, is how to differentiate your store with branding. So if you're going into e-commerce today, the probability that you're selling something that tons of people on the internet are selling is very high, right? So there are many stores selling the same product as you, or even in the same industry as you, right? So how do you stand out, right? And the first thing I would say is that if you're trying to set up with Shopify, it's very important for you to be very deliberate and for you to be very keen with the theme that you choose. Let me move my screen. So with the theme that you choose, right? Your Shopify theme is very important because the way your products are displayed, the way customers move around your store, the way customers are able to find the products that they want, the sizing of your theme is very important. So when selecting your theme, understand how your customers think, understand how your customers shop, and let that influence the kind of theme that you have. And your theme is very, very important with your branding, right? So when, for example, with my own store, my hair business, we understand that customers either want to shop via the kind of styles that they are looking for, or they want to shop based on their hair type, or they want to shop looks on other people, right? So we have our theme designed in a way where people can see these options, but they can also see other women who look like them in the products that we sell, and that has actually helped our conversion so much. So that's very crucial when you're talking about the theme of your website. And then there's clarity and consistency. One of the mistakes I see that people who are new to e-commerce make is that they use a lot of buzzwords, they use a lot of words that they've coined in their business, and it's not really clear sometimes to customers. No matter the kind of names you've given to your product, ensure that in your description you are using the actual naming titles to describe your product, and that your branding is consistent. So do not have one page with a certain kind of typography, one page with a certain kind of description, and another page with a certain kind of description. You want to be consistent, and you want customers to sort of like feel closer to you, but still very clear on what you're offering. And of course, your images are super important. If I'm shopping on a website, sometimes I go to multiple websites to sort of like make my decision on who I want to shop from. And the images, a lot of times, helps me to make decisions better. So if you're in the skincare industry, for example, customers care about the packaging of the product. Is it going to spill? Is it going to be easy for me to travel with? And things like that. So you want to ensure that your images are capturing, the element of these things. So that's on that with like differentiating your branding. So when it comes to branding, yes, colors are important. Yes, your logo is important. But the most important thing is how you set yourself apart and how you connect to your customers and how you are consistent. And you can leverage that with your theme, with your images, with your clarity, and with your consistency. Sorry. So when it comes to pricing, I would say that pricing is very, very important, because after all, you cannot have a business where you don't understand your numbers, right? I'm just going to touch a bit on that because that's like a very deep topic and it depends on your kind of product. But your pricing matters in terms of like your product, your pricing, and your margins, right? You need to understand that your revenue are made up of 4 things. So your revenue has to pay for your cost of goods. It has to pay for the cost of fulfillment, which is your packaging, your payment processing fees, your shipping. It has to pay for your marketing expenses and your admin costs, and then your profit. So the healthy balance with me would be to like have a split of 25% across the four breakdown that I have done, so that you are making enough in your margins to be able to afford your marketing, to be able to afford your administration cost, to be able to afford the actual cost of fulfillment. The mistake that a lot of people make when they are trying to launch an e-commerce store is that once they remove the cost of their products, they start to see everything as their profit, but it's not. And it's important for you to like differentiate that. Now, if you're launching on on Shopify, I'm sure like other platforms have that as well, you can include the cost of your products so that Shopify is able to help you like see your actual margins. And that way you're able to track your margins, you're able to track your profit, you're able to track the cost of goods that you spend on a monthly basis. As I've said, that's a deeper conversation, but if you're launching an e-commerce store today, I would say that you should definitely understand this and ensure that you solve this for your business before you proceed to launch. And then marketing. So when it comes to marketing, there are different things that are very important, and there are different marketing channels that you can explore. But what I would say is that the channels that you choose for your business depends on your kind of product, and it depends on your customers, right? For example, if your product is the kind of product where people discover your product, so do you sell your product or do people buy your product? What I mean by that is, do people consistently go out looking for your product, or are you selling the kind of products that people have to see someone selling it, they have to see an ad, and that's when they consider it, right? So that would determine the marketing channel that you actually go for. So for example, with social media is and paid ads is good for something that is often discovered. So if people would typically discover you maybe through hashtags or through their through ads and stuff like that, I would say that obviously no matter what you're selling, I would say you should take social media important, but in the rank of how important your marketing channels are, if your products are typically discovered, then I would say that social media is like very good for you, and influencer marketing is very good for you as well. Now, if your product is, people go out to look for your product, they go to search your product, then I would say that you have to take your search engine optimization very seriously. And even with like social media, you can do SEO. So you can optimize your post, your page in a way that people discover you, right? So if your product is typically being searched for, you need to take SEO seriously so that when people are searching, you are amongst the products or the businesses that they will find. Now, no matter the channels that you are using, you still have to like take your email marketing seriously, because the way your customer journey works is that people might discover you, they might find you depending on how they purchase your products, but they might not make a decision to purchase immediately. And that's the good thing about email marketing, which is that you can, extract value, get people emails, understand the kind of customers that they have. So for example, you can use a quiz, like a personalized quiz to get information about your customer. So on my website, for example, we use a quiz to help customers find the perfect product for their hair type. Now, the reason why we've created this is because we understand that any customer that goes through that journey with us is most probably a customer that would eventually purchase from us, right? So once the customer goes through that channel and gives us their information, we can then nurture them to eventually buy from us. So what I'm saying essentially is that you need to analyze how people discover or how people purchase your product. You need to analyze your customer behavior before you decide on the marketing channel to really go amp on. But no matter what marketing channel you go into, ensure that you have a strategy to extract emails from people, to understand your customers, so that you can, continue to nurture them and continue to market to them. The last thing I'm going to be talking about is staying profitable, because a lot of people start e-commerce businesses, but they eventually stop. And that's because, they do not understand how to stay profitable, how to ensure that the business is making money. All of these tools, all of these strategies, all of these marketing channels would help you, but it's important for you to understand the nature of your business and the internet economy. That's how you understand how to stay profitable. So for example, if your product is high frequent, like people can buy your product very often, but the product isn't so expensive, that would help you decide how you want to market, the kind of strategies you're going to deploy into keeping customers, into increasing how much your customers spend with you, and into getting new customers. So for example, if you're selling skincare and people buy skincare every month or every 6 weeks, but a lot of skincare products aren't too expensive, one of the ways you can ensure that your customers keep coming back is to maybe introduce a subscription model, have an email flow that brings them back like every month to purchase your products, to get into your business. So as I'm saying, what I'm trying to explain is that the nature of your business and the way your customers interact with social media would determine like how you create a profitability strategy, and that's very key. If you're also selling a product where it's very expensive, people do not buy every time, then you understand that your profit margin has to really, really make sense. And you need to also create like maybe a referral program so that even if people are not buying with you right now, they can bring in their friends to purchase from you, and you can create a referral loop to make that successful. With Shopify, there are a bunch of plugins. I didn't include a plugin for referrals and all of that, but there are a bunch of plugins that you can explore for like referral programs. And of course, you can use Klaviyo to automate a lot of things in terms of like bringing your customers back, creating a referral flow and stuff like that. So that's what I'm going to share on setting up your e-commerce business with Shopify. There are a lot of videos out there that are going to show you how to set up, but this is going to take you through how to actually launch and how to make your business sustainable. Yeah.
Remi, you were fantastic. Thank you so much for your energy, for the content, for your insights. Last question I have is, where can people find you and your business? What's your website URL, and what's the best social places to find you and or your business?
Okay, so I'm very active on Instagram. My business Instagram is Natural Girl Wigs. That's the business. I'm going to send it to you. Natural Girl Wigs. My personal Instagram is Oluremi Martins, which I'm also going to share with you as well. My business URL is naturalgirlwigs.com. So we use a Shopify store as well, and thousands of Black women across the world have shopped with us. I also, as I've said, I also offer like a consulting practice, but I have all of that information on my social media. And if you ever need my services, you can reach out to me there.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'll have the links below. I appreciate your time, and thank you guys everyone for listening. All right, Remi, thank you.
All right, bye.